everyone. It is a privilege to be here today with Mr. Kunal Savarkar, who's one of India's best quizmasters. Sir, thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Diksha.
I've got some fun and curious questions lined up for you. With your permission, can I begin?
Well, I don't really have a choice, so yeah, go on.
Alright. So, quizzing is something that sparks curiosity and actually brings a lot of people together. How did you first discover your passion for quizzing, and was there any particular turning point that made you decide that okay, I want to be in this thing?
So that's a very interesting question. So like a lot of school children, I took part in quizzes in school. I really liked it. I used to read a lot, which meant I knew a fair bit. And then I got a chance to organize a quiz when I was 16 at a local temple. And I loved that whole feeling, and I was trying to imitate my quizzing guru, Mr. Siddharth Basu. And then one thing led to another, and I became an architect. And one fine day, I started working for Mr. Siddharth Basu again as a part-time content creator. And I think I didn't set off on the journey to become a quizmaster. I find myself as a quizmaster today, and I think that's pretty much the story for a lot of people. Yeah. I wouldn't say ended up here. I'd say that it wasn't a plan, but here I am, and we're pretty happy about it. Yeah.
So my next question is to you. It's pretty fun. If you had a superpower only during quizzes, what would it be? Like the ability to read minds, for example, pause time, or make every contestant hilariously overconfident.
So I think between the choices you've given, I'd love to be able to read what's going on through people's minds.
Alright.
To a fair idea, I think as a quizmaster, you do tend to understand the way people's minds are working.
Yes.
Okay, but if I knew that better, I'd be able to ask questions in a way that they would answer them.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
So if Doraemon had just handed you his time machine, but there's a catch, you can only use it to attend a historic event or host a future quiz show. Which one would you be picking and why?
Without a doubt, I'd be going back to the night of the 14th of August 1947.
Alright.
And I'd have wanted to be a fly on the wall and watch India get independence.
Alright.
To see how the common man reacted, after thousands of years of domination.
Yes.
I think that's what I'd want to do.
In your portfolio, it said that you're an architect as well as you've been a content editor for the not so famous TV show Kaun Banega Crorepati. How do you think that has played a very meaningful place or space in your quizzing journey and you being a quiz master? How does it help you today?
So although I was a content editor on Kaun Banega Crorepati about 22 years ago,
yes.
I think it's a good point of reference for me when I tell somebody about the fact that I work in quizzing and it's like my profession.
Yes.
And it's a good benchmark.
Alright.
Okay, so even though sometimes I feel I shouldn't talk about it, it's a very easy thing for people to refer to because it's still running as a show. Although nobody involved with the show is still working on the show, except Mr. Bachchan.
Yes.
Okay, so I think in that sense it helps.
Alright. As one of the best quiz masters in India, you've seen quizzing evolve over these years. So in your view, how has the world of quizzing changed, especially with the very rise of technology and all these digital platforms coming up?
So technology has changed our lives in every way.
Yes.
Quizzing has to change as well.
I agree.
So I'd say that three ways maybe that I've seen. One is from the point of view of content itself.
Yeah.
The amount of content we have at our disposal. We can download videos, we can download audios, we can download images, we can juggle around with those images.
Yeah.
None of this was possible when I began quizzing. The second way is, of course, access to information. So quizmasters have access to a whole lot of information. When we began working on Kaun Banega Crorepati, we used to actually go to libraries and sit down with volumes of books and the Encyclopedia Britannica to make questions. There was no Google when we began,
I agree.
at least not in our office.
Yes.
Right? And the third way is, of course, the ways of quizzing have evolved. There's online quizzing, that's Mimi style quizzing. So, and then there's a challenge of how do you control unfair means being used in a quiz.
Yeah.
We have people with in-ears, with people feeding them answers.
Yeah.
So I think it's there's a lot of opportunity, there's a lot of challenge.
Yes.
But quizzing has changed, there's no doubt about it.
I agree. What do you think particularly makes a quizzer stand out according to you?
So good quizzer or a person who quizzes would normally end up being a good listener, definitely a good reader. And I'd say somebody who can connect the dots or somebody who can link things together, and to be able to link things together, you need to remember a lot of things first. So I would say that's a good quizzer, and somebody who can work out solutions where there are none, based on experience and based on some knowledge.
Yeah,
Okay.
logistics.
Yeah, and more often than not, say 8 out of 10 times they would be proved right. So that's what a good quizzer would be.
I agree. Earlier you said that you did not initially intend to be a quizzer, but you ended up as a quizmaster.
I said I didn't end up. I said I find myself here and I like
find
it.
yourself
Yeah.
as a quizmaster. So how do you think that now today you're a quizmaster, where do you see yourself in the next 10 years, looking from now on?
So I see myself as a part of a very large team of people who all quiz and conduct quizzes.
All right.
So when I say quiz, we take part in quizzes and we conduct quizzes, and I see it as a means of education. I see it as a fun way of teaching, because I really think quizzing is a great way to teach people.
Yes.
And I think there's a lot of fun, which is why our company is called Xpress Mind Edutainment.
Entertainment. Yes.
You know, a quiz has to be fun.
In
Otherwise,
the
there are exams that people can give, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
In the next 10 years, do you also see yourself involved in some other profession?
I think 2 is enough.
Alright, 2 is
Yeah, managing 2 is not easy.
Alright.
So yeah.
All right. You've been a quizmaster for years and have had so many formats go by. So what is the most unforgettable answer, or like you could say a very unforgettable experience that you've had with a quiz, or in the whole quizzing space journey that you've been in for the past few years?
That's not an easy question to answer. And funny you're asking me this, because just earlier today I was telling someone that about 20 years ago I asked a question at a quiz in Udhampur, up in Jammu and Kashmir. And the question was, who is Gabbar Singh's father in the movie Sholay?
Oh.
And nobody in the audience knew, nobody on stage knew. But there was a voice which came from one of the catwalks above me on stage. And there was a lighting operator who said, "Sir, I know the answer."
Oh.
And I said, "Tell me." And the audience couldn't even see who I was talking to. They thought it was really strange, quizmaster was talking to somebody up there. And he said, Hari Singh was the answer, which was correct. And I said, "How do you know?" And he said, "Sir, fan hu main. 100 baar dekhiye maine Sholay."
All right. Yeah, it's
still
dedication.
20 years down the line, it's still unforgettable. Yeah.
All right. So as a quizmaster, you've also seen a lot of participants from students to season. What is that one thing that you think, after all these years of experience, that one thing that most quizzers do not have but should have, or that you want them to have?
So I think most quizzers have it, they don't trust it.
You trust it.
Okay, so most quizzers have a gut feeling because they have the essential knowledge to come up with the right answer.
Yeah.
But I think it's an Indian thing. You're scared of making a mistake in public.
Right.
So there are times when they won't answer, and I can see that they know the answer, and yet, so I can see that they know the answer,
Yes.
and yet they will not come up with the answer and later say, "Damn, I knew it."
All right.
I think that's the biggest challenge.
All right. So for our final question, what is that one mantra, or that one line that you live your life by, and like it can be a sort of advice for all of those people watching who want to follow their passion, do whatever they want in life?
So from the day I found out that you could have a sort of status message on WhatsApp,
Oh.
my message has been the same one, which is Carpe Diem.
Okay. Seize the day.
Seize the day, seize the moment, whatever, take it whichever you want.
Yes.
Live in the present, okay, and do the best you can always. I think that sums it up.
I think with this, it was an exhilarating interview, and I think that listening to your insights about your life, your passion and learning, it was really like reading this interactive and fun quiz book. I am not a quizzer myself, so I do not have that much of an experience, but it was interesting. So with this, we've come to an end of this interview. Thank you so much for sharing your invaluable insights, and I think that is all we have. Thank you.
Thank you, Diksha, and you're not a quizzer, but you're a quiz master. You just quizzed me. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.